O Divine Mother, Tripurasundari, O Eternal Virgin, Possessor of all power, please open the gate of perfection. Purify her body and mind and manifest yourself through her for the welfare of all. Dear devotees, today is a very auspicious day for all of us. One is because Sri Ramakrishna performed a worship, that is worship of Palaharni Kali, in the form of his own wife, Holy Mother Sri Sharda Devi. That's why it is a very significant day. And the second thing, as we all know that today, the Jesus Christ he went to the heaven on this day. So today it is a twice blessed day. Two special things, unique things, or divine incidents have occurred on this present day. There is a beautiful sloka in Bhagavad Gita. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo vetti tattvataha tektva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjuna. One who understands the divine sport of God or incarnation, his birth, his divine actions, then he will not have any more births and death. He will be eternally free person. So this is one of the interesting statements for all of us, or interesting teaching of Bhagavan Sri Krishna, Lord Sri Krishna, to understand why should we try to understand, or why should we study the life and teachings of incarnations, prophets, or great ones. Because their simple action has got lot of meanings. It is with full of meanings. It is with full of reasons, divine reasons. That is the reason we have to read, study, and understand their actions. So, pertaining to today's incident, Sri Ramakrishna worshipped his own wife, Sri Sharda Devi, as the embodiment of Universal Mother, where generally we place the idol as a representation of the divine or cosmos or universal energy. In that place, in that seat, worship seat, Sri Ramakrishna made his own wife to sit, and he worshipped her as a divine mother. And he prostrated to her, and he also he offered all his 12 years of intense sadhana at her feet. So when we read this incident, we have to think a lot. When you think, then there are so many meanings, hidden meanings. There are so many, divine understanding which can be revealed for us, which will help us to understand who is Sri Ramakrishna and who is Holy Mother Sharda Devi. Say for an example, Sri Ramakrishna sat in Panchavati and he did a lot of tapas sadhana, spiritual practices. And whereas Rudhai, his own nephew, once he went and he sat on the seat where Sri Ramakrishna used to sit for his meditation or spiritual practices. Immediately, he had a burning sensation and he had very, fearful experiences. And he had to shout that, "Oh, uncle, where are you? Please come and save me." So Sri Ramakrishna had to come and pull him literally. Otherwise, probably he would have died. He would have died. Sri Ramakrishna said, "Fool, why did you sit on the place where I used to sit for meditation?" See, when an incarnation has sat in a place and has meditated, even any common man goes and sits there, definitely he cannot bear that power. Because such a deep power, deep vibrations will be there, any common person will not be able to bear. When Sri Ramakrishna is worshipping someone, And offering is all his fruits of action, fruits of tapas, penance, intense penance, for 12 years of its penance to someone. If someone is able to accept, then very well we can imagine, very well we can understand what is her greatness, what is her power. Anyhow, in 1858, as we all know that around 1858, Sri Ramakrishna married Holy Mother Sri Sharda Devi. Then in 1867, because she was a small girl, then after marriage, she was sent to her parents' house. In 1867, that is around the age of 14, because child marriage was prevalent those times. So in 1867, Holy Mother met Sri Ramakrishna, and also she served Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna taught her many things. Then, probably in 1872 around, in 1872, when Holy Mother was around, it was 18 years, she started hearing rumors saying that her husband, Sri Ramakrishna, has become mad. Why? He is crying. Sometimes he cries, sometimes he laughs. Why is he crying? Because he's crying on the bank of Ganges that, oh mother, one day is over, I have not yet seen. Or he is, in the name of God, he has become mad. So he has become mad in the name of divine. So this type of rumors, people started spreading, and she also heard. But she didn't feel, why did I marry to such a madcap? Instead of that, she said, since I'm a chaste wife, since I'm a wife, it is my duty to take care of my husband. And if he's unwell, it is my prime duty to go back and to serve him and to take care of him. See, what is the difference between a common person thinking and these great people's thinking? And indirectly, she expressed her wish to go to Calcutta to his father. Father understood, and father took her to Calcutta, and they had to go by walk. While walking, so because it was a 60 to 80 miles journey, she had to walk. She was not used to, walk such a long distance. In between, she had a fever. So she had heavy fever, and she was sleeping. In midnight, she had a divine dream where Mother Kali appears, and she sits next to her bed and she takes care. Holy Mother asks, who are you? And Kali says, I am your sister. I have come from Dakshineshwar. Holy Mother, with innocence, she says, oh, is it? I want to go to Dakshineshwar and I would like to serve my husband, but I've got such a fever. I don't know whether I'll be able to go or not, or I'll be able to see my husband or not. This mother, Kali, she laughs and she smiles and says, don't worry, you'll be all right from tomorrow and you'll be able to go and see him. And for everyone's astonishment, the next day, the fever had disappeared because of this divine vision, divine dream. Then they went and they met Sri Ramakrishna. But for Holy Mother and Holy Mother Father, for both of them, they were all astonished to see Sri Ramakrishna because he was very normal and he is very natural. His behavior is very, very natural. So because there were rumors, they understood, and both of them felt a sigh of relief. And Holy Mother Sri Sharda Devi's father left her with her husband and he went his village. Then she started serving her husband. Both of them are sleeping in one room and the same bed, single bed, but they didn't have any physical relationship. And Sri Ramakrishna started teaching her how to maintain household works. Imagine how to maintain, how to do things, and also religious and spiritual practices. Also, he had started her training. And once, Holy Mother was massaging the feet of Sri Ramakrishna, her husband. And Holy Mother Sharda Devi, normally, she asked, simply casually she asked, how do you look at me? See, these are the answers we have to remember, which is in the history of the spiritual world or the religious world, it is unheard. His own wife is massaging husband's feet, And wife is asking the husband, how do you look at me? Sri Ramakrishna instantly, without thinking, he said, the mother who gave me birth to this physical body, that is Chandramani Devi, and the divine mother, Kali, Bhavatarani Kali, who is in the temple, and the person who is massaging my feet, all the three are one and the same for me. Means Sri Ramakrishna was seeing his own wife as the Mother Kali, universal mother. Because he was unable to see anyone in any other view. He was able to see, or it was so natural for him, when he sees anyone, he used to see divine or divinity only. And with respect to women, all the women were the manifestation of the universal mother. And Holy Mother is also no more less. And some other time, Sri Ramakrishna asked, how do you look at me? So husband is asking wife, how do you look at me? Even Holy Mother Sharda Devi, instantly, sincerely, truthfully, she said that I look like you as a Narayana. Means you are the Lord. So there is no lustful thoughts between them. So their relationship is so divine. Their relationship was so pure, is so pure. It was free of lust. It was free of any human materialistic calculations. So they had a divine relationship. One day, both are sleeping. Holy Mother is a 18-year-old girl. You can imagine, an adolescent or young girl, and Holy Mother was looking so beautiful. And she's sleeping. In the midnight, Sri Ramakrishna woke up. As we all know, Sri Ramakrishna used to sleep very less. He got up and suddenly he saw Holy Mother's body, and he wanted to examine himself. And he said to himself, to his own mind, look, this is the woman's body. The whole world is behind this. It wants to enjoy. And she is your wife. You have got all the right to enjoy. So don't be hypocrite. If you want to enjoy, you have got all the freedom to enjoy. Please, you may enjoy. Saying that, he wanted to test his own mind. Just he wanted to test. So he wanted to touch her body, Holy Mother's body. Sri Ramakrishna's mind and senses, immediately it withdrew and he went into Samadhi. So we can see in the Sthitaprajna Lakshana, that is a person who has got a steady wisdom, a person who has got realization of the self and steady wisdom. Kurmunganiva sarvasha. When the senses come into contact with sense objects, when the mind thinks that there's a danger, immediately the mind and senses withdraw, like when there's a danger, tortoise withdraws his limbs. So same thing we can see in the life of Sri Ramakrishna. Immediately his mind and sense were withdrew and he went into Samadhi, transcendental experience. Such a pure personality, both of them they had. And by that time, Sri Ramakrishna also had trained Holy Mother to larger extent. In one place, Sri Ramakrishna says, if she was not pure enough, if she was not highly exalted lady, spiritually exalted lady, then do you think that would have been, it would have been easy for me to practice spirituality? It would not have been. Because of her purity only, I was able to control my mind and I was able to establish myself in spirituality. Means both were spiritually pure, both were genuine, no doubt. Anyhow, in the 1873, June 28, that was the Palaharani Kali Puja. So this is very significant worship for the people who practice tantras. Why? Because on this day, according to the scriptures, they say it is very auspicious day. On this day, if anyone worships Divine Mother, Universal Mother, all their desires and wishes will be fulfilled. And this Palaharini, this is a beautiful word. Harini means it is actually removal or destroying. So Palaharini means the destruction of the fruits. So for example, you work for 3 hours, you are paid for 3 hours, maybe 12 euros per hour. So 36 euros you are paid. That is the fruit there, result. So here Palaharini means it is the destruction of the fruits. So that means whatever the actions we have done, when you worship the Palaharini, all your fruits, karma phala, is destroyed. Oh my God, then why should I worship her? So here, that means what? The bondage of action, the bondage of karma bandhana we say, that will be destroyed. That is destroyed when we worship Mother Kali or Palaharini. So the universal mother is worshipped in the form of Palaharini. Why? Because all our bondage will be cut asunder by her. And the other, one more interpretation or explanation is given that when we worship her with sincerity, with truthfulness, and with devotion, then all the highest desire, that is the liberation, is attained or is achieved. This is what the significance of this Palaharini Kali Puja. And also in some scriptures, there is a mention that it is also called Spring Festival. We all know that there is a spring here. So similarly, Spring Festival, because a lot of fruits like mango and so many other fruits we do get in India, seasonal fruits, all the 15 types of, or 15 or 16 types of fruits should be offered to Mother to please her so that she fulfills our wishes or our desires. So let us try to read the incident and we will go for little explanation. Mid-June 1873, it was the new moon night, an auspicious occasion for Palaharini Kali Puja. The special festival is also observed in the Kali temple of Dakshineshwar. The master made a special arrangement for privately worshipping the Divine Mother as Shodashi in the room rather than performing it in the temple. At the right side of the worshipper's seat, a low wooden seat, beautifully painted with a rice powder pigment, was placed for the goddesses to sit on doing worship. The sun had set, and the new moon night arrived in the veil of deep darkness. Hruday was performing the worship in the Kali temple that night, that is his nephew. So he helped with the preparations for the master's worship as much as possible and then left for the temple. After the priest Dinu had finished the evening worship service in the Radha Govinda temple, he came to help the master prepare for the worship and he also left. It was 9 in the evening when the preparations for the mystical worship were complete. The master had sent a message to Sharada beforehand to be present during the worship, and now she arrived in the master's room. The master sat for worship, and he finished the preliminaries and sanctified the articles of worship by repeating the mantras. If you have probably observed that preliminaries, how I do, purification rituals and all in the ashrama during our celebrations, if you have observed, then you'll be able to understand this sentence. He then called Sharada to sit on the decorated wooden seat. While she was watching the worship, Sharada had already entered a semi-conscious spiritual state. So this is very important word, you see. When she was sitting on the wooden seat, she already had entered a semi-conscious spiritual state. So without fully knowing what she was doing, she moved like one who is spellbound and sat facing north on the right side of the master. And he sat east side. According to the scriptural injunctions, he repeatedly sprinkled sanctified water on her from the pitcher placed in front of him. Means he purified as a purification rite. He then uttered some sacred mantras and invoked the deity with the following prayer, which I told at the beginning. O Divine Mother Triprasundari, O Eternal Virgin, possessor of all power, please open the gate of perfection. Purify her body and mind and manifest yourself through her for the welfare of all. He then performed some ceremony in accordance to the scriptural injunctions and worshipped Sharada with 16 items, 16 worshipable items as a very veritable manifestation of the Devi. Then after worship, he offered the food and he took some food and he had put in her mouth. By this time, Sharada lost outer conscious completely, and she went into samadhi. While uttering mantras in the semi-conscious state, the master also went into deep samadhi. Thus, the worshipper and the worshipped became fully united and unified in the conscious state, that is, existence, knowledge, bliss, absolute. Some time passed in this way. It was long after midnight when the master gradually regained partial consciousness of the world. In that semi-conscious state, he offered himself to the Devi, manifest in the person of Sharada. Then he surrendered at her feet himself, the result of his sadhana, his rosary as a symbolic representation. He then bowed down to her with this prayer: O consort of Shiva, the most auspicious of all auspicious beings, O doer of all actions, O refuge of all, O three-eyed goddesses of golden complexion, O power of Narayana, I salute you again and again. Thus, the worship was completed. The master sadhana culminated in this worship of the Divine Mother in the body of a woman who was an embodiment of spiritual wisdom. Both his divine and human aspects had achieved ultimate perfection. So after that, Holy Mother slowly, she gained her consciousness and she left to her room. So by this, we can understand how they were divine, both of them, how they were spiritually exalted. When Holy Mother was asked to sit on the worship seat, by that time already she was in a semi-conscious state. And when the purification rite started, in no time she was in fully unconscious, means she was completely merged in divine conscious state. After the finish of puja, he also went into the deep transcendental state where he had lost all the external consciousness. And for a few hours, both of them, they were in that divine conscious fully. They were unconscious of the surroundings. And when he regained, after the midnight, when he regained his consciousness, he surrendered all his fruits of action of 12 years of sadhana at her feet, and he culminated his sadhana. So there are few important things we have to understand. The sadhaka bhava, Sri Ramakrishna, the great master, or Sri Ramakrishna and his divine play. So if you read this book, it is very philosophically, it has been interpreted, explained who is Sri Ramakrishna and his incarnation. So there, as a sadhaka, as a spiritual aspirant, that phase has been over. Then he takes the Guru Bhava. As a teacher role, as a role of teacher, he starts doing after this. Means he prepared himself. He ended his spiritual aspirant role stage, and he is continuing his role of the teacher, world teacher role, for which he has descended on this earth. If you study scriptures intently, in the case of Rama, in the case of Krishna, in the case of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or in the case of Ramakrishna, all the incarnations, before starting their important work of the particular incarnate of their birth, all of them had worshipped Divine Mother. When Rama was about to kill Ravana, to slay Ravana, before that he worshipped Mother. That's why we do Durga Puja, Sharan Navaratri, Dasara. And similarly, we also know that in Kurukshetra war itself, before the commencement, Krishna tells to Arjuna, you invoke Mother Durga. By that only you will be able to slay Bhishma, otherwise it is not possible. So he asks him to pray and invoke the blessings of Mother, Divine Mother Durga or Kali, so that he will be able to fight. There also he explains the importance of Mother worship. And in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, we come to understanding that in Varisa, in Vinod Bihari temple, he did Devi Puja before his commencement of his main work, divine work. So if you see the history of the incarnations, before starting their primary work or important work, all of them, they worshipped Divine Mother and they started their avatara karya. So even Sri Ramakrishna also, before starting his spiritual work, that is the preaching work, as a role of world teacher, he worshipped Mother, Divine Mother. But he didn't worship any goddesses in the form of any idol or whatever. He worshipped the goddesses in the form of his own wife. So in the history of religion and spirituality, we don't come across where a person has worshipped his own wife. Seeing her as a wife, friend, all these things, fine. But seeing her as a manifestation of the Mother, Divine Mother, and worshipping, we have never seen. And not only this, and also if you see very clearly how these people's simple act has got tremendous scriptural significance. If you study Tantra Shastras, in Tantra, there are mainly two schools of sadhana. One is called Sri Kula Marga, the path called Sri Kula, where that is got Sri Vidya Upasana. Whoever, especially it is very prevalent in southern part of India, Sri Vidya Upasana, where their Bala, Panchadashi, Shodashi, these are the three different forms of Holy Mother, Divine Mother has been worshipped. So that is what Sri Vidya Upasana. And the other is in east and northern part of the India, which is prevalent, is called Kaula Marga, where Mother Kali, Universal Mother Kali, is the prime deity. So there Kali, Chandi, Durga, then Manasa, Shitala, Artara, these are the different names of the Divine Mother. So they are worshipped. So, which is, Sri Ramakrishna started in this Kaula Marga actually sadhana. We all know that his initially 4 years of his sadhana was with Mother Kali. Once he experienced the Mother Kali, then he started different sadhanas. So he started there. After 12 years of sadhana, on the Falahani Kali Puja day, as himself said that he did Shodashi Puja, the worship of Mother Shodashi. So the culmination of the Sri Vidya Upasana is in Shodashi. And the Sri Vidya Upasana is done in the, Puri Sampradaya. In the Hindu monasticism, and especially with the Advaita monasticism, which is established by Shankaracharya, there are got 10 sects, 10 streams. Among them, one is called Puri. So this Puri, Bharati, Tirtha, and Saraswati, all the four belongs to Sringeri, which is in Karnataka, southern part of India. Now, if you see, Sri Ramakrishna's guru was Totapuri. So that means Puri Sampradaya. So Sri Ramakrishna took his monastic vows from Totapuri. So Sri Ramakrishna belongs to Puri Sampradaya. And the Puri Sampradaya's headquarters is what? The monastery where it is situated in the Sringeri, which is in southern part of India. And they do the Sri Vidya Upasana. And Sri Vidya Upasana culminates in where? In the Mother Shodashi, Divine Mother Shodashi. So Sri Ramakrishna, he culminated his sadhana by worshipping the Mother Shodashi, means how he has practiced scriptural injunctions. He has not studied scriptures. He was not a great Pandit. He has not studied scriptures. But his life and every his action has given a testimony, has confirmed the scriptural injunctions. He himself has given the life to the scriptural injunctions or to the scriptures by following spiritual practices. Knowingly or unknowingly, how they have, confirmed the scriptural injunctions or scriptural statements or whatever. That is the beauty of Sri Ramakrishna's in Shodashi worship. And otherwise, if you see, by doing this, what every monastery or every particular sect or particular cult or religion or the path, spiritual path, will have a presiding deity. So for an example, Puri Sampradaya, Kamakshi, and like that. So now Ramakrishna Mutt and Mission also as a spiritual path should have a presiding deity. So what is the presiding deity? Sri Ramakrishna, by worshipping Holy Mother Sharda Devi as in the form of Shodashi, himself has established. He established that Holy Mother will be the presiding deity for Ramakrishna Mutton mission, which is coming forth in future. So Sri Ramakrishna, by simple action, he has showed that he established the supremacy, or he established that in the forthcoming days, the Ramakrishna Mutton mission, whatever it is going to come, Ramakrishna Monastery is going to come. So the presiding deity of Ramakrishna Monastery will be Holy Mother Sri Sharda Devi. And he invoked that divine power, divine mother or divine energy in Holy Mother, so that he prepared herself. After his demise, she will be able to take the role of world teacher. And also, in India especially, women were suffered. Women were treated badly. It is not only in India, in the whole of the world. In the Europe also, we know that how, women were troubled and how women were harassed and how they were tormented time and again. Same thing in US, same thing in Europe, same thing in India or Asia. As we all know that in USA, 1920, women voting rights got in force. And in UK, in 1928. And in India, though 1927, 1929, though it started, but it was not in a full form. Only 1950, because after the independence and constitution getting implemented, in 1950, every woman got the fundamental rights and voting rights. When we see all these things, whatever we speak today, woman regeneration, that was established, that was started by Sri Ramakrishna through this significance. That's what in the beginning of my talk, I told. Though the actions of these great prophets or incarnations, it looks simple. When we start meditating, that so many aspects, so many different secrets will be revealed for us. Sri Ramakrishna worshipped Holy Mother Sharda Devi, his own wife. By that, he has invoked the universal consciousness, the feminine consciousness. By that, the woman's nature or the woman's status will be restored. That's what we see. This happened in 1872. It took some time, no doubt, but slowly, either in the West or in the East, the status of woman, the dignity of woman was being restored. See, a simple action, how much it has got deep significance. And Sri Ramakrishna himself says that I have seen Lalita, I have seen Tripura Sundari, that is Shodashi, how her form is so unique, so beautiful, and her form is unparalleled, and her beauty is supernatural, which is indescribable. And from her every limb, there was so much divine light was oozing, it cannot be described. And I was amazed, astonished to see and to have the vision of the Mother Shodashi. So whether it was when Shodashi worship happened, during that time only he had this experience, or some other time he had this experience, we don't know. But he himself explains the divine form, the beautiful form of Mother Lalita, that is Shodashi. So by this, he also showed that Holy Mother Sri Sharda Devi, why we should be called. Oh, because she's the wife of Sri Ramakrishna, that's why she's called Holy Mother? No. Her life, her legacy, her achievements, or her nature is something unique, common people we cannot understand. Just like there is a charcoal, it has been covered with the ash. Then many times we don't understand until otherwise we keep our hand, or then only we'll be able to understand that there is a heat below. So similarly, Sri Ramakrishna showed the power and the uniqueness and the significance and the real nature of Holy Mother Sharda Devi. Who is she to the entire world? That's why many revered monks of the whole Ramakrishna order, they have said, who understood Holy Mother? First and foremost, it was understood by Sri Ramakrishna. The second is who? Swami Vivekananda. These are the two people who understood the greatness and the uniqueness of Holy Mother, and others were very partially, they didn't understand completely. Because Sri Ramakrishna himself says that the Divine Mother has come in such a simple way, where She had covered herself with her modesty so much so that it is not possible for anyone and everyone, or mostly for most of the people, it is not possible to understand who is she. Means he is referring to Holy Mother Sharda Devi. His goddesses Lakshmi, Saraswati, and Durga. She has come in this a simple form, in a form of village woman, illiterate village woman, where she is wearing a simple white sari with a red bordered white sari. She looks simple woman without any external paraphernalias, but don't underestimate her. She has got a lot of power. It is very difficult to comprehend. It is very difficult to understand. So every small incidents, when we think deeply, then only we can understand what is the significance of it. Probably if it was not done, then we would not have understood what is the greatness of Holy Mother. And by worshipping the Holy Mother, by invoking the Brahma Kundalini, he invoked the feminine consciousness all over the world. So the restoration of the woman dignity, the restoration of the woman rights, everything was established by an incarnation. That's why we don't understand the depthness, the width and the depth of the divine's actions, or the prophets and incarnations actions, because our mind is so limited. We have got so limited understanding, it is not possible. Only when the saints and the pure men or women of great intellect, men or women of pure character, men or women of spiritually advanced people, they will be only able to shed some light, then only we can understand the significance of all these things. So it is not simply worshipping Sri Ramakrishna or Holy Mother as a divine mother as worship. No. One is invoking the universal consciousness, divine consciousness in her. First thing is that. Second thing, for this Ramakrishna monastery, she will be the presiding deity. He made that. He established it. Second thing. Third thing, as already told, from social aspect, he invoked the feminine consciousness all over the world, so that the dignity, the freedom of the woman and the feminine will be restored. In the medieval period, the woman was suffered and she was harassed, she was bullied, and she was very badly, handled by the men-dominated society. So by worshipping Holy Mother as a divine mother, divine consciousness by Sri Ramakrishna, so the feminine concept, the woman dignity has been re-established and restored by Sri Ramakrishna. And also from scriptural point of view, he started from Kaula Marga, that is where Mother Kali is the supreme deity, and he ended his worship. After 12 years of sadhana, he ended his worship by worshipping Lalita or Shodashi. Shodashi is the presiding deity of Sri Vidya Upasana. And the Sri Vidya belongs to southern part of India. Mostly it is with the Puri Sampradaya, and Sri Ramakrishna belongs to Puri Sampradaya, and we, the followers of Sri Ramakrishna, we all belong to Puri Sampradaya. So unconsciously, he is following the scriptural injunctions. By following this, he is giving the life, he is giving the power to all our scriptures. Whatever we study in Vedas, whatever we study in Upanishads. So it is not mere hypothetical arguments. They are not hypothetical statements. It can be experienced even today. So even Tantra Shastras, even Vaishnava Shastras, all of them, scriptures, whatever we read, most of the time we feel all these things are possible. Is it real, or is it fake, or is it just imagination? But by Sri Ramakrishna's sadhana, by Sri Ramakrishna's spiritual practices, he showed that all these things are true. This can be verified. This can be experienced even today. So the divine sport of the incarnation, has got so many angles and so many aspects. Only when we advance in our spiritual life, only with the Guru's grace and with the chosen deity's grace, probably we'll be able to understand little. So on this auspicious day, May Mother Tripurasundari Devi, our Holy Mother Sri Sharda Devi, bless all of us so that let our intuition, that is thee, be awakened, and we shall understand the truth and we shall experience the truth. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Rama Krishna Arpanamastu.